The following is an episode of The Brian Brawdy Show, and listener discretion is strongly advised. Because if you're easily triggered, outraged, offended, maligned, mortified, insulted, or otherwise verbally injured, if you're constantly looking for a bubble, a safe space, some training wheels, or some water wings muffined to get through your day, take it up with a therapist. I'm not your shrink.
Thanks for listening to The Brian Brawdy Show. It's time to mortal up.
Evening once again. Welcome to the Brian Brawdy Show, a show so big I didn't even have time to shave today. We're even running around trying to get ready because there's so much breaking news, so many cool things going on. You know my belief. Hey, Miss Putnam, nice to see you. Thank you so very much for joining us. And for the share, thank you so very much. That was very nice. You know, my belief, this is the greatest time in the history of the world to be alive. Why? Because politicians are blundering left and right. So when we say, hey, are you ready? That's tonight's show. We'll be tying that in towards our Mortal Up Minute, which we're going to get to towards the end of your hour. Are you ready? Because there's some big things coming down the pike. Whoever wins the election, right? There's some big things getting ready to happen. And I just love it. I love watching the media, just everybody. You know, I had someone else tell me today, well, if that person votes for this one, or if that person votes for that one, I'm cutting them out of my life. And I think to myself, how is it possible? How is it possible that we let politicians and politics and political parties be front and center in our lives? I put up a tweet a little earlier today, this just in, which... Let me say this, Wayne. Everyone should know by now, if you see me do a this just in or breaking news, pretty sure it's anything but breaking news, right? It's just my attempt to go, yeah, well, it doesn't surprise me. This is what should be happening. But I put up a little tweet earlier, or a post earlier, and I tweeted it, LinkedIn, you know, all the usual suspects. Judge ACB bored with the vapid questions and launched at her by even dumber senators during her confirmation hearing, is rumored to be playing Sudoku under her desk, right? The other day they said, hey, would you show us your notepad? There was nothing on it, right? What she didn't show you was the second page was Sudoku. She was doing the math in her head, Wayne. And why I think that's terribly important, it shows you how vapid, how absolutely imbecilic some of these career and elected politicians can be. And it's fascinating to me. Well, I'm a U.S. Senator, damn it. Like, that's supposed to mean something, right? You've been on the lam. You've been in the Senate for how long? Especially if you're one of the senior members, which just shows you can't do anything else for a living, or you choose not to do anything else for a living. You're a grifter. You're a scam king or a scam queen. And before we get into it, Wayne, I happened to hear a little clip today. I don't know if you did. Anyone else listening, I don't know if you did. Let me say hello to Candace. Candace, peace right back at you. Did anyone see Nancy Pelosi and what's his name? Wolf, the boy who cried, Wolf Blitzer, over at the Circus News Network, going absolutely nuts, taking off on each other? It was great TV. Absolutely great TV. But here's one of the things that was so interesting today was that she's just now, forget about her religious views. Forget about her political views. Just look at her as a brilliant woman, right? Just a brilliant woman. And she was a brilliant professional, grounded in the fact, just absolutely stunningly smart, mopping the floor with some of these senators. It's unbelievable. And these are the people that we elect, right? These are the people that we elect to represent us. And I'm thinking to myself, boy, this lady, now she's the sharpest knife in the drawer, and she's just cutting these people up left and right. And it just makes you wonder, Wayne, you know what I mean? We seem to elect the dumbest people in our country. And I mean the dumbest people.
And then,
And by the time, right?
then everybody wonders why we have the problems we have.
And then everyone wonders. And then you get these career politicians, these career grifters, right? Interested in whatever it takes to get power and maintain power. Boy, you see this ACB, she just mopped the floor with them. It was great. So, Wayne, what's going on with you today? Like I said in the tease, we got all kinds of things to get to. I know you've been working around the clock since last we spoke. Give me an idea. What are some of the things you're thinking about as we get ready to kick off?
Well, first off, I was kind of curious to how your insect problem was doing over there.
The grub wars?
The grub wars.
Yeah, what were you thinking about? I'm glad. Thank you. Misery loves company. Thank you for thinking about me. Yeah, all day again, I was raking and putting down dirt and poison and everything else. So it was, chemicals. I don't want to say poison, but that's what it is. But putting down the chemicals to make sure we could try to grab back some space.
But you do know there's a better way to do this.
Oh, what, calling an airstrike?
Well, I was thinking about some stuff today.
Yeah.
Yeah, just hang in there a second.
All right.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning. It smells like victory.
The Godfather, by the way. I love Robert Duvall, and I love the smell of napalm in the morning. I love the smell of whatever this ortho bug grub be gone or whatever we're using now. It smells like victory, and I'm loving it. But you know what's pretty cool about it, Wayne, is I'm getting a great workout. The weather's been nice. I'm getting some push-ups in. I'm getting some planks in. I'm getting all kinds of burpees and squat thrusts. I'm having to carry these 40-pound bags of soil over my head. So it is a great workout without having to head indoors. So thank you so very much. I super appreciate it. Thank you for thinking of me. What else is going on in your world today?
I don't know. I mean, you got the Hunter Biden emails.
Oh, yeah, we're going to get to that here in a little bit.
You got Barrett being asked about her sex life.
Ooh, okay. Well, there you go.
You got Facebook and Twitter at it again.
Oh, Mug Pamphlet and Spitter.
Yep.
Oh, so you were going to go over what they're up to.
Yep.
All right.
We sure
Well,
are.
you got to love them. Mud Pamphlet. Shh. Just in case they try to cancel us. Some of their fact checkers may not be, well, we know they're not smart enough, but they may not realize what Mug Pamphlet stands for, right? Spitter, who cares what their checkers are doing? We never get any love over on Spitter. I'm sorry, go ahead.
So I don't know if you want to go to the news first, or do you just want to go to lowlifes first?
Let's go to tomato today. What do you say? Let's hit lowlifes making headlines before we run to the 10-minute break. Lowlifes making headlines, or as we like to call it around here, brains that make your blood boil. Here's your brittle brain atop a balsa wood spine for today. Where do they got to head to vote for either Hunter or Hirono?
All they've got to do is go to mortalup.com, Brian Brawdy Associates, brianbrawdy.com, any one of them, and they can sit down on the main page. About halfway down, we have that little poll where they can make their choice.
I think she's crazy. I got to be honest with you. Hunter Biden, it's just criminal if you believe some of the things that are going on. And that's, here, can I just tell you a little bit from being an ex-cop?
Sure, but just remember.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Oh, right. It's 10 after. All right. Wayne's giving me the finger. 1 minute. Let's do this, and then I'll tell you something about being an ex-cop. All right.
Celebrity voices impersonated. That's amazing. It's uncanny. It sounds just like me.
You know what I wanted to do for celebrity voice impersonations tonight? Tommy Lee, and I guess he was a rock star, Tommy Lee. I don't remember much about him, but Tommy Lee says he plans on leaving the country if Trump is reelected. I think we should start a GoFundMe page. Tommy Lee, you're a wash-up. You're a has-been. Why don't you, and who's some of the other ones? Alec Baldwin, he would be a great one. And there's a couple other people that are making, I'm sure, Cher, she wants to leave. Maybe they could rent, since they're so green coordinated and so worried about saving the environment, maybe they could rent a jet and they could all leave together. So for the celebrity voice impersonator tonight, I was just going to take the sound of a baby crying. Wah, 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 wah. If I don't get my way, I'm going to take my name and go home. Tommy Lee says, I'll go back to my motherland. See you. And if we could cue, if I knew how to do sound effects, Wayne, it'd be the sound of a screen door slamming, not to catch him in the tuchus on the way out. Okay, but I digress. So here's the scoop. Head on over to mortalup.com, radiobride.com if you're into that, and vote tonight. Hunter Biden. And the real story here, Wayne, is I'm going to tell you, they're welcome. Everyone's welcome to vote. Who do you think is tonight's low life's making headlines? Hunter Biden, right? Or Hirono, for her just horrendous Hirono. That's the nickname. Horrendous Hirono, however you pronounce it. Tomato, horrendous Hirono. And her questions to, her questions to open up, have you ever sexually harassed anybody? And then Hunter Biden. But the real thing is that Mug Pamphlet and Spitter, apparently, you were telling me earlier, Wayne, and all kinds of people are texting me, emailing me, calling me, but sending me message on Mug Pamphlet saying, well, they're stomping down sharing this report. So, there you go. Facebook, Twitter, reduced distribution of report on purported. And I think purported Hunter Biden emails is fair, right? It's just purported now. No one, right? You're innocent until proven guilty. I know not a lot of people in this country like to believe that, but you're innocent until proven guilty. Oh, unless you're a member of the Biden bus tour, and then, then you're always innocent no matter what you do. But the real news is that Mug Pamphlet and Spitter are doing what they can to throttle this story. So, Wayne, what's going on behind this story? Tell me a little bit about this. I was busy, as you know, doing Grub Wars today, and my phone was lighting up about this has happened. But what's the breaking news that everyone's trying to cover up? At least in big tech, everyone's trying to cover up about Hunter Biden. Really? All right, well, let's look at it this way. Whatever the information is, it's got to be so big that Mug Pamphlet, almost slipped there, in case any censors are listening, that Mug Pamphlet and Spitter don't want anyone talking about it. Shh, shh. Which I have to tell you, and this is what I was going to say before we ran to the little celebrity impersonation thing. Here's what I'm going to tell you. That everyone's trying to cover it up. Everyone's going, shh, shh, don't say anything. Don't say anything. Can I be honest with you? That makes me think he's guilty. Why would everyone and their brother be in that position? I don't get it. Why would they be saying, hey, don't talk about this. Don't talk about it. If the story was he has pink hair, Shane says, guess it was just me, LOL. Candace Johnson says connection. So I'm sorry if anyone's having a hard time hearing. Oh, which would be a good time for me to thank everybody on Twitter, on Facebook. We don't know what happened to Wayne, but on Twitter and Facebook and over at, YouTube for listening to the show live. And of course, if you're catching the show in podcast, in the rebroadcast form over on a Radio Bry, or you're catching us on Spotify or iHeart or iTunes, thank you so very much. We super appreciate it. And if you like what you hear, go ahead and share. Tell some people what you're thinking about. We super appreciate that as well.
Right,
so
back,
until
Brian.
you're back?
Yep.
All right. So what's with everything going on today? Let me say hello to Shane. Shane, thank you for joining us. No one can tell me that daddy didn't help him with the connections. Oh, I see what you're saying, Candace. You're absolutely right. I think that's absolutely the case. So what's the story, Wayne? What is it that Mug Pamphlet and Spitter are trying to shut everybody down with?
Well, basically what it boils down to is the person at Facebook who made the decision to block the New York Post article.
Ooh, New York Post. Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is basically a New York Post article.
All right.
The person who did, he was former member of the Biden team.
Get out.
Yeah.
So he's like Scully.
Yep.
Steve Scully. Yeah. Oh, no, nothing to see here.
Except he's an
All
executive
smoke and
at
mirrors, no
Facebook.
connection. Ah. So now they're saying, oh, you can't look here. Look away. Look away. Thank you, Candace. As you know, Candace is one of our field executive producers. Motley Crue rocks. So Tommy Lee was in Motley Crue. Very good to know. They even drove their manager crazy. Very nice. So Tommy Lee, I thought he had something to do with David Lee Roth. That shows you how much I'd never listened to any of that. All right. So the big story is that Mug Pamphlet and Spitter are trying to stomp down a New York Post article that said what? Well, what I still don't understand, Wayne, was what was in the article. I get that no one wants you looking at it.
That's what you're looking at.
What?
Apparently there's some emails from Ukraine, from, I guess
Ukraine.
it's Burzma.
Okay. All right.
Back to Hunter Biden.
Ooh.
Thanking him for the meeting that he set up with Joe Biden.
No.
Yes. And Joe Biden has basically been saying all along, I've never met this person. I've never talked to this person. And apparently there's a bunch of emails out there that just came in.
Wow. No wonder a lot of these people try to have emails on different servers, right?
I don't know.
Now, before everyone starts screaming about Hillary Clinton, I'm just saying anyone who goes, oh, yeah, I got to have an email on another server, right? Because it seems like email only comes back to get you in trouble.
Well, according to Rudy Giuliani, he has a whole hard drive of emails from Hunter Biden.
Giuliani does?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, again, this is the greatest time in the history of the world to be alive. The way this is going to unfold. And look, here's the thing. And people say to me all the time, well, we never knew how you fell politically, or we always thought this or that. I feel bad for Joe Biden. He's having a difficult time mentally. I feel bad for him. I got nothing bad about to say about him in that regard. But if they find out that Hunter has been, right, doing some sneaky stuff, that's got to blow back on the campaign. But the big thing, can I just tell you here in 60 seconds or under, Wayne, the big thing for me is Kamala Harris. Now, Kamala Harris, did she ever get to single-digit percentages when she was running for president?
She stayed in single digits.
She stayed in single digits. Good thing, because single rhymes with snarky. I don't like her. I don't think that anyone in this, if she was the greatest thing since sliced bread, she'd be the official candidate. And I think there's something to it when both her and Joe Biden slipped and said, oh, the Harris-Biden campaign. I believe there's something to it. I just don't trust her, right? Just some of the things that she's done in the past, saying that she hung out smoking bongs, listening to different rap artists that weren't even published rap artists at the time. But forget about that. Suppose that you say, oh, we're hanging out doing bongs, but then you make a career out of putting people in jail for doing bongs. It's just not honorable. It's just not right. And if you're thinking to yourself, again, my conspiracy theory, dun, 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 dun. My conspiracy theory, here it is. The reason that Nancy's busy trying to turbocharge the 25th, 1 minute, turbocharge the 25th, is she's not going to use it against Trump. She wants to use it against Joe Biden, right? She wants to use it against Disco Joe, because if that means Kamala Harris becomes president, Kamala gets to pick whoever she wants, and I think she plans on picking Nancy Pelosi. All right, so let's do this. We're going to run to a quick little thing, and let's do it, Wayne, and then we'll be back. I'll take a quick sip.
Portions of this broadcast have been pre-recorded.
Why? Because you can't get these people to hit a call time. They're the worst. Nah, I'm just kidding. We love our guests.
All right, in the break, I got a little bit of a thank you to shout out to everyone following us on Twitter, watching the show tonight. Thank you very much. If you know the format, we're going to run to the bottom of the hour here, and when it gets here, we'll be opening the phone lines, but you're welcome to text me. They come right in here to the monitor. 833-MORTAL, MORTAL 1, 833-MORTAL 1, or of course you can use the hieroglyphics, the chicken scratch, 833-667-8251. Maybe just like the presidential election, you want to get in some early voting, right? There's nothing that says you can't text me with your vote. And just like in regular elections, I guess now, Wayne, you can send in your ballot, right? You get a ballot, you can send it in. But other than your word, there's nothing that prevents you. There's no safety, no security around you filling out a mail-in ballot and then heading over to the booth and voting as well.
Maybe we should just send out,
you know what I mean?
Maybe we should just send out the poll to everybody.
Oh, there you go. We could do that. Yeah. But here's the thing. If you want to text us and get in early, we'll be just like a regular general election. Instead of going over to mortalup.com, you can get in early, vote. Let us know. Hunter Biden. And right? Is there enough suggestion and impropriety that we should look into this further? I say yes, damn it. Because if not, why would Mug Pamphlet and Spitter be doing everything they can? Why would they be doing everything they can to squelch the story? Methink thou dost protest too much, little Billy Shakespeare would have said. Technically, that's not fair. It was big Billy Shakespeare, right? Methink thou dost protest too much. That's why they're trying to block the story. But even if you let the story go, even if you say, we don't want any stories on Biden's mental health, we don't want any stories about criminal connections to the Biden family, we should be focusing on Kamala Harris. If she's the greatest thing ever, why did she never get out of single digits? Look, I think that Gabbard from Hawaii stuck around longer than Kamala Harris. If she's such a great pick, why didn't she make it through the primaries, Wayne? That's all I'd like to know.
I have no idea. I haven't been able to figure that one out myself.
Shane says, do I have to register to vote? No, Shane, you can vote early. You can vote often. You can text us. You can head over to Mortal Up. Candace says, I keep saying they're just using Joe. Yeah, poor Joe. He doesn't even know if they are, but I'm with you. Rudy is Trump's lawyer. Makes sense. He's got crap on people. All right, Shane. So Shane is implying that because he's Trump's lawyer, not to mention the fact that he comes from New York City, right? The former mayor of New York. He's got briefcases full of stuff. Here's the thing. Whoever's got it, let's just have the truth. If you got the goods on any politician, any of these rock stars that you see, right, just running the show, stealing all the thunder on the national level, any of these rock stars, let's have the information. Let's let truth. I know this is weird, Wayne, but what do you say we let truth taint the process? Forget about the cult of personality.
We can't do that.
Oh, no, we can't say that. We can't let truth get in it. I'll tell you something else about Mug Pamphlet and Spitter. What's so infuriating, if you could be infuriated by this stuff, right? Because you just got to laugh how stupid people are, right? How big tech's trying to take over and everyone's just falling for it, right? How gullible we've become as a people, how gullible at times we are as individuals. But the real thing for me is that they're trying to pull the wool over our eyes because they think they can. It's insulting. They water down human wherewithal because we lead them to believe that they can get away with it. It's a scam. And all you have to do is watch these confirmation hearings and you wonder why these people, why aren't they Uber drivers? Well, probably because they couldn't figure out the acumen of the GPS on their phone. I get that. I know what you're saying. That makes perfect sense. All right, here we go. We got one coming in. Real journalism is dead. Thank you very much. We'll go ahead and throw that out. Even though I've got great friends that are journalists, some real, well, you can't even say real because they're not real journalists. Voodoo journalism is alive and well, but I know some journalists that are honorable people that get out there every day to try to crack the code, find the story. But I'm with you in terms of voodoo journalism is alive and well, right? Because it's just a popularity contest. right? Everyone wants, oh, follow me on Twitter. Do this, do that. It's just a popularity contest. They try to see what they can say. They try to break the news. Little Jimmy Accosted over at the Circus News Network, right? Joy Reid over at MSNBC, right? You pick your one at the New York Crimes. You pick your favorite author at the Washington Compost, right? It isn't about journalism anymore with some of these people. It's about playing gotcha. Well, I don't care about the cult of personality. Well, I don't care. What I like is the policy. I like is the platforms. What are you going to vote for? And I don't think Kamala Harris, in terms of some of the people that track this stuff, is considered, Wayne, I don't know if you knew this, Kamala Harris is considered to be more liberal. You ready for this? Drum roll. Considered to be more liberal than Bernie Sanders. She co-sponsored AOC's new Green Deal bill. Where's that money going to come from? Our taxes. And what's it going to do? Ruin what we've worked so hard to build. So that's the thing. Don't pick on poor Joe. You know, it's just his handlers. It's his script writers, right? He's an old guy. Let him go. Let him retire. Let him enjoy the rest of his life, right? If his son's dirty, the FBI will get him. If his son's dirty, if there was some type of collusion, if there was some other thing that's going to go on, the FBI will nail him. Let him go. Let's let the truth out. But as far as the deal breaker for me with that whole ticket is Kamala Harris. I can't figure it out. The Green New Deal is not going to help us. Shane says there's no money in releasing all the truth. You wait until politician A is doing good that someone doesn't like, then you dump it out and ask for money to keep it quiet. It's all about power and money. Shane, I absolutely agree. Janice, right back at you. Hello. What about Falcon Trainer? What about it, Candace? Hello, Janice. Nice to see you. Thanks so much for joining us on the Brian Brawdy Show. All right, so we're getting ready to run. We were running a minute behind getting started today because of all the big breaking news, and most certainly we were just rocked here in the studio, as I know you were, to learn that Tommy Lee, which every time I hear Tommy Lee, I think Tommy Lee Gifford, but that's not Tommy Lee Gifford. What's the name of that woman who used to be on TV? Something Gifford. She married Frank Gifford. Who was that lady? Does anybody know? You let me know here in the thread.
Kathy Lee?
What? Kathy Lee Gifford. Right. Every time I see Tommy Lee, I think Tommy Lee Gifford. Well, in any event, we were running a little behind tonight because I'm sure, like you're just heartbroken knowing that Tommy Lee will be leaving the country. If President Trump is reelected. So now, Cher, Alec Baldwin, any chance they could get Joy Behar from The Purge? What's that show called? What does she do in the mornings? 2 minutes out. All right. What does she do in the mornings? The View. Oh, so Joy Behar from The Spew. Any chance they could save a couple seats on that plane, take her with it? Kathy Lee Gifford. Yes. Shane, thank you very much. Tommy and Pamela had a film. Oh, right. Thank you, Candace. Never saw the film, but I heard a ton about it. Thank you very much. All right, we're going to run to the bottom of the hour. When we get back, we're going to open up the phone lines right away. Don't forget, you can text us as well. But let's do this, and we will be right back.
You're listening to The Brian Brawdy Show. Why? Because you know the truth when you hear it. He'll be right back.
Welcome back to the Brian Brawdy Show, brought to you by our good friends at Counterpunch Media and Certifiable Brilliance. It's time to buckle up. Oh, yeah, that's right. I always forget. I should thank the good folks at Counterpunch Media. Thank you for everything, and thank you for being a sponsor of the show, as well as Certifiable Brilliance. I promise next week. And Wayne, maybe before we open the phone lines, this will be a good time to make mention of some of the programming things that we have coming up. Before we do that, but I need to thank the people at Certifiable Brilliance as well. Thank you so very much. So I've mentioned it, and this will be the last time I mention it, because some people are around to kind of counsel us and go, let's not talk about syndication. Let's not talk about Sirius until it happens, right? Just like don't talk about the registered trademark until it's official, until you sign the contract, until the ink's dry. You don't want to jinx yourself, right? So I'm absolutely with that. But to that end, believe it or not, we have our fingers on the pulse. We pay attention to things going on in the industry. We pay attention to the trends, if you will. And I don't know if you know this. I was most certainly shocked, Wayne, but I was stunned to find out that the new morning drive time, because everyone's under lockdown, is not the morning drive time anymore. The number one time slot to have for radio, not a TV slot, right? Not a TV slot, but the number one time slot for radio is noon Eastern, noon East Coast time, right? And then I think what they do is you move across the country, they rebroadcast. So you can tune in at 11 your time if you live in one of the, or 10 or 9 if you live in one of the other time zones. But noon Eastern is the number one time for radio. So Wayne, why don't we do this? Let's, speaking of call-in radio, let's go ahead, open up the phone lines, and then we'll kick this around when we come back.
The phone lines are open. Now's your chance to mortal up and give Brian a shout, because your opinion deserves to be heard. Dial toll-free 1-833-MORTAL-1. That's 833-MORTAL-1.
You're damn right your opinion deserves to be heard. Who are we, mug pamphlet or spitter, trying to throttle your opinion back? That said, probably a little time for a disclaimer. Shane, when we talk about Tommy and his history of drug use, we could probably blindfold him and drive him to the next state, and he'd think he had left the country, given all the craziness going on in Michigan, where there was a coup, a plot. There's some things underfoot to kidnap Alyssa Milano, a.k.a. Gretchen Whitmer, and then they were also going to kidnap boy, what a party that would have been. Kidnap the Ralph guy from the governor of Virginia, I believe it is. So we should probably say, Shane, we are not, hard no, right? Full stop, drop the mic. We are not suggesting that we are going to kidnap Tommy Lee, right? We're not saying that, just because I can just see it now running around, on the internet. Everyone's going to, oh, well, that over there at Radio Bry, he and his listeners are conspiring to kidnap Tommy Lee Gifford. Tommy Lee from, well, whatever. You're right. He did date Pamela Anderson. You'd think that would register in my mind a little more than it does. But we are not suggesting that we would go and kidnap him and drive him across the state and tell him, oh, look, you're in Canada. You win, guy. You win. Alec Baldwin will be right along. All right, the phone lines are now open. Don't forget, you can call us 833-MORTAL, and the numeral 1, because we believe you're the number one mortal. Also, the hieroglyphics of it, the chicken scratch, 833-667-8251. 833-667-8251. And Wayne, here's something else I wanted to mention, because I got into a little bit of a discussion earlier with someone that said, well, that the WHO comes out now and there's 30,000 or 300,000, whatever the number is, all these medical professionals, doctors, healthcare practitioners, and the like, signing petitions saying the lockdown is not a good idea, that the attacks on mental health, the attacks on your financial health, the attacks just on your overall well-being, the lockdown is only exacerbating that. It's only contributing to your malaise. And I think to myself, I've been saying that since the 1st of March, right? No one will remember. No one's going to come back and say, oh, well, Bri, you nailed it. Where are all the kudos to the people that have been saying from day one the lockdown wasn't going to work, that it wasn't a good idea? Let me say hello to Bridget. Bridget, thank you. And Janice, thank you so very much. super appreciate you joining us for the Brian Brawdy Show. But right, Wayne? Right?
Yeah.
What about since the beginning of March? I'm saying this is not a good idea. The lockdown is not going to work. Overall, terribly detrimental as a plan. You don't have a lot of people coming out now and saying, well, you nailed it. You guessed it way back then.
Well, you got to remember, it only took WHO 25 tries.
Oh, well, that's nice of them. Good to know, right? I'm just, here's the thing. As I've said from the very beginning, you'll remember way back when I said, if I take any advice about COVID-19 from who, it will be from Roger Daltrey, the lead singer of the band. So that was another thing that I wanted to throw in there this evening was that what about the people that have been saying it all along? Probably like you. What about all the people that have been going, look, I just don't have a good gut feeling about shutting down the economy. And now Supreme Courts, state Supreme Courts across the country are starting to hold, right? Wayne, I think in your state, the great state of Michigan, Michiganders, as your governor likes to say, we're all Michiganders. We're all Michiganders, right? Even in your state, didn't the Supreme Court say, gov, come on, Alyssa, right?
Yep.
You can't be doing this.
Yep, he overturned, he basically overturned her executive orders.
And you got to be counting down the days. That's like a week ago or so, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Driving by the stores, the malls, the restaurants, parking lots are full.
All right. As Bridget Butler calls it, lockout Meshuggah, right, Bridget? We get a chance to use the word Meshuggah. Again, I love that word. Thank you so very much, Bridget. I'm absolutely with you. No, not kidding anyone. Not kidnapping anyone. Yeah, exactly, Shane. Or we're not kidding, right? If that's the way I read it initially, we're not kidding anyone either. But those are the couple of things that are on my mind this evening, Wayne, is we're never going to get credit for saying, hey, we were leading the charge. We were right along with you when you said these lockdowns aren't going to work, right?
That's true.
People slamming you on Facebook and over on Spitter and everywhere else going, well, what do you know? You're not a doctor. What do you know? What do you know? What do you know? That's a gut feeling. I'm just going to tell you that the lockdowns aren't going to work. Well, now here comes the WHO, collective tail between their legs. Oh, we don't think these lockdowns are going to work. Really, Kreskin? Took you that long to get to it, did it? Ay. All right, Wayne, what else is going on in the world today? We were talking earlier about Hunter Biden, here, the horrendous Hirono from Hawaii, I believe it is, and her just abominable questioning at the ACB hearings, the confirmation hearings up in the Senate. Anything else of pressing nature going on in the world before we hop to our next segment?
Well, yeah, and apparently ABC is fuming at NBC.
Oh, what's that all about? Oh, you mean the television?
Yeah, the television stations.
All right,
apparently, ABC made arrangements for a town hall, means the debate was called off, for Biden to have a town hall on ABC.
Ooh. All right.
Well, NBC came back and decided to have a town hall with Trump the same time, same day.
Oh.
So ABC's not happy, probably because they know the ratings are going to be all on the NBC side, probably.
Well, can I ask a question? Now, I know nothing about that type of media, right? But they are in a competition, right? They are in a ratings war, right? Mm-hmm. It's like you can't put on the ice capades and not expect the rival network to put on a repeat of the 300, right? They're in competition to get the best numbers. But Wayne, let me ask you this, and then we'll get ready for our disclaimer. Could we say that given the Nielsen, if more people watch the intervention with Joe Biden, intervention, I'm sorry, not intervention. If more people watch the interview with Joe Biden as opposed to the interview with President Trump, maybe that bodes well for Joe Biden. But what if all the people, right if the numbers, who has Trump? NBC?
NBC.
What if NBC, what if their numbers are through the charts that night? Do you think we can take that to mean right? That's the way. Is that like a sneaky little poll? Is maybe that why they're doing it? Because the next day they'll both be able to say, NBC will be going, oh man, we took it in the shorts. That wasn't good at all. We lost big time. So it must be that Biden's winning. What do you think? What if that's a sneaky little way to get a poll in?
Well, I look at it this way. If NBC wins the ratings war on that particular night during that time slot,
Right.
the mainstream media is going to come up and tell us Biden's up 25 points.
Oh, 25 points. Yeah, well, that's because Hillary was up like 67 points the night before, wasn't she? Yeah, good. Good. Oh, this is breaking now. I hope you aren't suggesting I don't have my own mind. Here we go. Right? So ACB, Amy Coney Barrett, is now, and here's Spartacus. What's his name? Corey, I'm Spartacus Booker, right? Attacking her for not being an independent thinker, however that played out. But it's unbelievable. I love watching this. It's better, right? You ready for this? I'm telling you that this time of year to watch these people go apoplectic, right? To just watch them explode, right? Where we talk about brittle brains atop balsa wood spines masquerading as intellects. Going to a break. Okay, thank you, Wayne. Now look at that break signal. You should have been a third base coach. Well, I knew not to steal third. All right, so now let's do this real quick. Thank you.
The views expressed by guests are their own, and their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent.
Yeah, that's fair enough to say, right? Including my own, because there could be people at Counterpunch Media or Certifiable Brilliance that go, yeah, about that. We don't, oh, so good. I like the break symbol. That's good, Wayne. Well, right. We don't necessarily agree with some of those things. I don't know why you'd sponsor the show, but you get where I'm going with that. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing to throw in here. All right. So Wayne, what else? We've talked about Mortal Up. You can head on over there if you want to vote. Who gets your vote for lowlifes making headlines? Hunter Biden wheeling and dealing, dropping his dad's name whenever he needs to. Oh, the Mortal Up segment. Is it already time for Mortal Up? Nah. Is it really? What time is it? Nah, we got a few minutes left, but I got you. So is it that? Oh, send them over to mortalup.com. See? I guess you need to be a little more explicit. I need some smoke signals. All right, head on over to mortalup.com. Oh, Wayne's controlling all the buttons. I don't know why he just didn't throw the mortalup.com address up there. But head on over to mortalup.com. There's plenty of time to still pick. Thank you very much, Wayne. Register your vote at mortalup.com. There you go. You can register. Who's the worst? Horrendous Hirono, or Hunter Biden? You get to pick who is today's lowlifes making headlines. Now, I know you're thinking, now, Wayne, if I remember correctly, you told me it's either Hunter Biden, horrendous Hirono, or a third party. Is there a third party up on the site that you could you pick like a write-in candidate? Because I know everybody on the brother's going to go, well, Nancy Pelosi, she's insane, right? She's clearly gone off the reservation. She's clearly off her rocker. Is there the ability, if you head on over to mortalup.com, do you have a write-in candidate?
We don't have it on that page on the same poll, but on the mortalup.com page, they can click on the contact us.
Oh, contact us.
And they can send
gotcha.
you a message with their recommendation.
Oh, with a recommendation. Okay, good. So kind of. Let me see. Dana Lee. Hello, Dana. Please tell Mr. G we said howdy. Hirono Hunter is always a loser. There you go. They are out of their league, and I'm praying they get tried for crimes of treason, Dana says. Janice says, ACB was brilliant. Jess, I got to tell you, I agree with you. She's just a stunningly smart woman. It's just fantastic to see. Absolutely fantastic just to see her mopping the floor with all these alleged senators, these brainiacs. Well, you need to have some respect. Nancy Pelosi screaming at the boy who cried wolf Blitzer, screaming, you need to have some respect. Why? You're one step above a garbage collector. Why do we have to have respect for any of your shenanigans? As Wolf said, he passes people starving. He passes people in the streets that have no place to go. He passes people where that kind of money means all the money in the world to them. But Nancy's busy doing nighttime comedy shows, telling everybody about her $17 a pint ice cream in her freezer. That's how she's getting through the lockdown. Like she's Ellen DeGeneres saying, oh, I'm trying to get through this prison that is my multi-billion-dollar mansion here in the hills. Right? That's why I think everyone should write in. If we're a write-in candidate over on mortalup.com, we should have a write-in place, Wayne. From now on, if we're going to do Lowlife's Making Headlines, you can pick A or you can pick B, or you can have a write-in candidate because Nancy would win in a landslide. And I'm just saying, right? It's not about political parties. Anyone that kind of pulls this stuff, think about it. All right. Dana says she's legit. I absolutely agree with you, my friend. And I will tell you, it's just been something else to watch and to hear other people's reactions, right, Dana? Because people are just like, oh, did you see her? Oh, she did great. Oh, there's this. Oh, there's that. It's just phenomenal to get everyone's response. So I am enjoying it tremendously. All right, before we get ready to run to Mortal Up here, are you ready? And this was all sparked, and I'll tell you quickly, this was sparked by an advertisement I heard today for a feng shui bracelet. This guy gets on, and I was watching something on YouTube, and that's another thing. I love being here on YouTube. Don't get me wrong. Thank you also very much for having us live. It's not like LinkedIn will have us live, right, Wayne? Oh, hey, and Mug Pamphlet, could you change the name, please? Good Lord, how many days, weeks, months? It's a request. Change the damn name. How hard can it be? Or do you have all your fact checkers? I got something for your fact checkers to check. Spell the name correctly. Good Lord. Well, in any event, right, they're on, Wayne, selling this feng shui bracelet. New notification. Paul, good evening. Nice to see you. Thank you so very much for joining us on the Brian Brawdy Show. We super appreciate. Oh, there's everyone. Let me see. Dana says she is not a bumbling emotional fool. She was straightforward, knew the laws and rules, and didn't play the reject game with the cronies. Dana, I have to tell you, when she held up that blank piece of paper, that's where I came up with the idea of doing a little bit about, what's it called again, Wayne? God, my mind is a terrible thing to go south on you. Skidoo, right? Skodoo, whatever that game is called with the numbers. Sudoku. That's why I came up with that joke thinking, wow, she's doing all this from a blank piece of paper. She knows her stuff for sure. Again, let me say hello to Paul. Candace, Falcon trainer, whistleblower, something else. Can't wait to see what happens here. Biden involved again? Well, I guess we're going to see pretty quickly, Candace. I guess that's the thought that everyone's thinking. And again, I only go back if Mug Pamphlet, right? If Mug Pamphlet and Spitter are trying to throttle back the story, it's got to be true. Why would you throttle back a story that isn't true? Oh, well, we're trying to protect the electorate. I don't know about you. I happen to be the electorate, as I'm sure you are, a part of the electorate. Good golly, I need a sip and some more pop. Right? We're a part of the electorate. I don't need Mark Zuckerberg protecting me. I don't need anyone editing. I don't, because you know what this is basically doing, Wayne? This is like burning a book. It's no different, right? Here's a story. It's a small book, a small pamphlet, if you will. But saying, oh no, we can't have that story go out. What if there's some truth to it? Yeah. What if there is some truth to it? Let's let truth once and for all taint the process. All right, Wayne, let's run the Mortal Up just so I don't miss this in terms of a call time. And I'll come back on the other side and we'll talk about the feng shui bracelet. Idiots.
It's yours.
Oh, thank you. I'm just thinking to myself as we're getting ready to do that, going, oh, yeah, that's right. We got so tied up today. Wow, dead airspace. That's why everyone's so worried about it. My fault, my bad. As I say all the time, this will be a great disclaimer. If you love what's going on in the show, give Wayne credit. If you're thinking, holy cow, that was a train wreck, then Brian, I'll take credit for the train wrecks. So here's the thing with Mortal Up. If you've been following me at all, you know that I believe that everything happens for a reason. The Tao follows its own path. Inshallah, if you're Muslim, right? Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, right? Thy will be done, Judeo-Christian. Or as I said in the Taoist philosophy, the Tao follows its own path. I believe that. And I believe that as human beings, the best way to have the happiest, stress-free life is to dovetail with the Tao. But then today I see this advertisement for, oh, you have to have this bracelet. And if you have this little Buddha beaded bracelet, that you'll have feng shui. And they go on to describe feng shui. You got to give them credit, right? Because it's not easy saying, oh, this ancient Chinese secret, right? China's taken it on the chin of late, especially the Communist Party. Now that they know people had been getting the Wuhan wheeze long before the timeline that the CCP, right, that the CCP suggested it began. Wuhan wheeze, big deal, long before that. Long before it was breaking news, let's say. So in any event, this advertiser is selling a feng shui bracelet. And if you wear this bracelet, only good things will happen. If you lose it and you don't have this bracelet, oh, watch out, Bessie, they're heading for the barn. Nothing good is going to come to you, right? Nothing good at all. You wear the bracelet, shoot low. Sheriff, they're riding Shetland ponies. You're in no matter what happens. You don't wear the bracelet, it's all over. Here's Johnny, right? It's just over. So then they go on to explain that, well, feng shui is an ancient Chinese art that just causes you and the energy around you not to be obstructed, like feng shui, like your love seat isn't blocking whatever the feng shui is from the front door, or this, that. But now it's in bracelet form. And if you wear this little feng shui bracelet, right, other than the fact that you'll be $40 lighter in the wallet, so maybe it's a weight loss plan, I guess, I don't know. You'll be $40 lighter in the wallet. If you do this, it will mean that when you're wearing this, no, not this bracelet. This bracelet is my little ID bracelet in case the amnesia kicks in again. It's got like my real phone number, my wife's name, where I live. And no morphine, right? We learned early on, do not give the kid morphine. I'm not good on morphine, right? Not good. Not like Brett Favre on Vicodin, not good. I'm like not good on morphine. So a little thing on there that says, don't give any morphine. And then, of course, it says mortal up, just because, right? That's what I believe. So in any event, when it comes to wearing a bracelet, they say your energy will be aligned. There'll be no obstructions. As you move through, right, the universe, everything will be flowing just as it should. Candace says, I need some voodoo dolls. Now, funny, Voodoo Dolls, I thought that was the name of the band that Tommy Lee Gifford played in. I'm going to miss him when he moves to Canada. Is that his motherland? Does anyone know what his mother, when he says, oh, I'm going to pack up my band and go to the motherland? Does anyone know what the motherland is for that guy? Anyone know where he's from? In any event, this feng shui bracelet, right, is designed to make sure that everything that comes at you is within the right flow. And here's all I'm suggesting. If you decide to mortal up, if you decide to draw the sword from the stone, as the Scottish Himalayan expedition author once said, the moment one definitely commits, all providence moves too. And it's been my experience in all these years of studying it, now almost 40 years behind the mortal up concept, that when you do, you don't need a bracelet. Feng shui is the way your life unfolds for you. We don't need a bauble. We need acuity, right? We don't need some trinket, just staticless vision to see what's unfolding in the moment at hand. Are you ready for that? Because it's not about goal setting, right? It's not about going on an expedition. It truly is the meaning of the word adventure, from the Latin aventura, something about to happen. Takes a lot of courage. Takes a lot of chutzpah, if Bridget's still there. I know her favorite word is mashugana, like it is mine. It takes some chutzpah, right? To be able to go, whatever happens, I'm going to deal with it in this particular moment. No goals, right? Hope is an echo. It drives you yonder, 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 to quote the poet Carl Sandburg. So all I'm simply suggesting is when you decide to mortal up, there's a little bit of a roadmap for you. And the universe, as we call them, and we've talked about before, the fingerprints of Providence, all this craziness, vote Republican, vote Democrat, vote whatever you want. But the morning after, you and I are going to wake up. We're going to read the tea leaves, and then we're going to decide what we have to do to make our life special. Because here's the bottom line in all of it. When you hear me say all the time, we stand in the way of anyone standing in the way of you. Because I haven't forgotten what a big deal you are. Now, maybe you've forgotten a little bit of your own amnesia. Maybe you've forgotten what a big deal you are, but I most certainly haven't. We didn't call it Mortal 17 when we wanted to get the 800 number, right? We didn't even do Mortal Up and go, well, the P, it'll just fall off. Don't worry, no one will get it. We chose Mortal 1 because you're the number one mortal. And what you decide to do in the labyrinth of life is on you. Are you going to cower in the corner? Well, if you do, I happen to think human backs are built for the corner. Human backs are most certainly built for the wall. So for our Mortal Up minute this evening, be an independent thinker up until the time it comes to dovetail. Like a philosophical feng shui, if you will. But to dovetail with everything that unfolds at you in this particular moment in all of time. That way, that's like the rodeo clown, right? That's like the safety net. If you decide to mortal up, right, thy will be done. As I said earlier, the Tao follows its own path. The hell with all the experts. The hell with all the critics. Walking, talking Venus flytraps, trying to remind you that misery loves company. But when it comes time to mortal up, you know that you've got a co-pilot. And that co-pilot is your destiny. You decide in this particular moment in all of time which way it's going to go. And that's our Mortal Up minute or two or three. I forgot when I took it over. Minute or two or three for this evening. Are you ready to ride, as Garth Brooks said, as Aerosmith said, riding like there ain't no clown? Are you ready? Because if you are, when you pull that sword from the stone, you're gonna work the red carpet like a rock star, a real rock star, not Tommy Lee Gifford from wherever he's from. Does anybody know? No, apparently nobody knows either. Well, Tommy Lee, I guess not as big a draw as you think you are, brother. Well, let's hope his motherland gives him some more tattoos. I just think those are great. You know that. All right, Wayne, we're going to get ready to go ahead and get out of here. Let me thank everybody again, our sponsors, Counterpunch.media, also Certifiable Brilliance, and for everyone that's hanging out here with us in the thread on Facebook. We're also live on Twitter and YouTube. Thank you so very much for joining us each evening and on mortalup.com. I don't know if you know this. And you know what? I blew it, Wayne. We don't have time to mention our big breaking news about why noon is going to be so important very, very shortly. But I promise we'll get to that tomorrow night. That's probably a good way to do it. Why noon is going to be such an important time of day as we move forward. Not just because that's lunchtime, but another reason to be pretty fired up. But let me thank the people that listen to the podcast, regardless of the time of day, over on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio. Thank you all so very much. We truly appreciate your support. And if you would share this around, if you'd share around the link, if you'd let your friends know, if there's something that you liked, if there's something even that you disliked, it would still be nice for you to share it around. Or if you know of someone that could use a Mortal Up minute, needs a little push, right? Gia Pollinari, come to the edge, she said. They said no. Come to the edge, he said. They said, no, we are afraid. Come to the edge, he said. They came, he pushed them, and they flew. Maybe you have a friend that could use a Mortal Up minute. Please share this. Send them over. I promise we're going to get to it every evening. And as always, I can't leave the show without thanking Wayne for everything he does to make me look like I have a face for radio, right? More head scars than most Vikings. Wayne, thank you so very much. We will get to some of our breaking news tomorrow. But until then, have an absolutely fantastic evening and a great day until tomorrow evening. We're looking forward to hanging out with you.
Thanks for listening to The Brian Brawdy Show. Until next time, get out there and mortal up.